Hey, what's up, YouTube world? It is your girl here, the Venusian Bull, and I am back for another Planets in the Houses series. And in this series, we are going to be discussing planets in the ninth house. Okay, so you know how we do, it. I am going to provide a little intro video for the ninth house and then attach it to all of the videos for the planets so that, we can get everything that needs to be said in these videos. Okay. All right, so just a little background on the ninth house. Remember, the ninth house is akin to Sagittarius. So the energy of the ninth house is very joyful. It's very optimistic. It's all about adventure and learning and philosophy and religion and spirituality and traveling all over the place, darling. It's all about discovering different cultures, different people, different ethnicities, different ways of life. And it's just about being open minded. Like the ninth house is literally like, you're an open book type of energy. It's very larger than life energy. It's very extra, extra, read all about it type of energy. So, ninth house people are on 10 like 90% of the time. Like they can't help it. It's like adrenaline. It's like constant adrenaline. This is a house that's full of energy, and full of excitement and luck and expansion and abundance. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna keep this pretty cute, clean, and concise. All right. And also, as a disclaimer, I feel like I mentioned this in my videos, but y'all still seem to not be listening. Okay. When I discuss the planets and the houses, I'm discussing their general energies, like their purest energies. Obviously, this is going to be modified based on the sign that's on the house cusp. If you have other planets also in this house, or if these planets in the ninth house are aspecting other planets in your natal chart, it may modify this energy. So you may look at this video and be like, that sun in the ninth house, that sounds like nothing like me. And you got a nerve to have sun square Pluto. That's why it don't sound nothing like you. Okay, I just had to get a little mean for a second. This is a happy energy, positive energy, but I just had to say that because some of y'all be coming up in here and be like, I'm not this, I'm not that. Y'all, look at your whole chart, listen to all of the videos, because at some point you're gonna have planets transiting the ninth house. So you actually want to pay attention to all of the videos, not just the one that's specific to you and your natal chart. And hey, if you want to get information, on other people, family members, significant others, friends, coworkers, and they happen to have a planet in the ninth house, you may want to listen to that as well. All right. So keep it, well-rounded and, helps me boost up those views. All right. All right. So stay tuned for a very wild, adventurous ride for the planets in the ninth house. All right. Let's go. To freedom! Hey, what's up, everybody? Your girl is back to discuss Jupiter in the ninth house. Okay, I know y'all are ready for that. This is Jupiter's home. Jupiter rules the ninth house. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So, so we're going to have fun with this one, okay? So having Jupiter in the ninth is similar to having Jupiter in Sagittarius, or having Sagittarius on the ninth house cusp. And to a lesser extent, Pisces on the ninth house cusp, because traditionally Jupiter also ruled Pisces. So it actually rules Pisces and Sagittarius, but you didn't know that. But I've mentioned that in previous videos. But anyway, let's get into the meat and potatoes of Jupiter in the ninth house, okay? Y'all know how I keep on talking about this big energy, this exaggerated kind of energy, this like out of the box, like I'm here, everybody look at me, I'm fabulous and I know things. Like Jupiter kind of takes that to like the 1 millionth power. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that has to do with the ninth house, Jupiter is going to amp it up. Okay. So if that has to deal with traveling, Jupiter amps it up. It's like, how many places can we go in a year? How many places can we go in 6 months? how many places can we go in a month? You know, Jupiter in the ninth is all about the next exploration, the next destination, flying, traveling to any and everywhere. And I will have to say, Jupiter in the ninth, we will put an emphasis on traveling for the purposes of learning or also the purposes of going to school. So this is very much a placement for like going to school abroad, you know what I'm saying? And things of that nature, like for college or even for like high school and stuff like that. This is also like if you're in some type of like special program or something like that, you may be going to school even at a much younger age, abroad or out of the country and things of that nature. This is also very much traveling for like religious purposes and spiritual purposes as well. Remember, the ninth house is very spiritual and Jupiter is very spiritual and religious. Remember that, okay? Just remember. So it could be a very overbearing type of religious person, you know what I'm saying? And I just have to reference this because this stuff is in the news right now. You know what I'm saying? Like the Christians are not here for Lil Nas X, okay? If you know, you know. The Jupiter in the ninth is just coming out. It's just like spazzing, like, oh my God, oh my God, the devil. I don't know what I'm doing. What is he doing? Oh, he's dancing with the devil. He's giving the devil a lap dance. Oh, he's sliding on the pole into hell. Like Jupiter in the ninth, like they cannot deal. Like their moral high ground is just like, or what they think their moral high ground is just too, it's just too high up there to even think that this is a thing that's possible. You know what I'm saying? Like they just like, and this is like the really like religious, you know, Christian type of, you know, Jupiter energy and stuff like that. You know, they're very, you know, mightier than thou, holier than thou. You know, they know everything. They know the Bible like the back of their hands. They do everything right. But they don't. You know, ninth house Sagittarius energy, Jupiter energy can be very like hypocritical. You very much telling people to do one thing, you preaching one thing, and then you doing another. But nevertheless, traveling for religious purposes. You could, if you're like a more open-minded Jupiter in the ninth house, maybe you're seeking out more, you know, different religions. Maybe you're in, you know, India and you're looking for information on like Buddhism, or if you're in China, or something like that, or just, you know, Islam, or just like in the Middle East, just different types of religious practices. And it could also kind of tie in together with higher learning with school, because, you know, Jupiter in the ninth, you know what I'm saying? We get into bachelor's, we get into master's, we get into PhD, we're getting all of the things, okay? Like the doctorate, like all of the degrees. You have them all. You know what I'm saying? I hope that you're using them, but you have like literally all of these degrees. I mean, you're double majoring and triple majoring. Like it takes you like 25 years to finish school, like just because you just need to gather all of the knowledge, all of this wealth of knowledge. And you're like, there's just simply not enough time. I need to, oh my God, I haven't visited Thailand. I need to learn about Thailand. I need to go there. I need to visit Morocco. I need to go there. You know, you're very much prone to these like, you know, those kind of trips that like people take, like mission trips and stuff like that. That could be, you know, spiritual, religious, related, like these retreats. Those types of things. Maybe you're doing that like on an island, like maybe you're, you know, going to the Bahamas, or maybe you're doing a retreat in Hawaii or something like that. Like it's very much that, but the focal point is always to learn, and it's always to get to kind of expand your knowledge as it pertains to spirituality and religion and philosophy as well, because they all kind of go hand in hand, especially for Jupiter in the ninth, this particular placement, okay? Also, Jupiter in the ninth this is a very, very fortunate placement. You know, I already talked about how fortunate and how lucky, you know, ninth house energy is in general, Sagittarius energy is, and you are just very fortunate, you know, luck just happens to find you. Good fortune just happens to find you. You could be like destitute on the street, and you could be. Do you know that scene in Coming to America? Not the new one, but the old Coming to America, where the homeless men, like Eddie Murphy, he gave the homeless men all that money. I don't know how much money. It could have been $1 million or something like that. That's the type of shit that would happen to somebody with Jupiter in the ninth house. Somebody will just like give you $100,000. You're homeless. Like you would get lucky like that while everybody else is getting pennies and dollars. Like you get the $100,000 or you get the $500,000 or something like that. Like it's so like random that it's like, because you're destitute, you know what I'm saying? It can happen, but it's true. Also, the lottery. And I have yet to mention this in the other videos. And it can definitely be, you know, good fortune when you're at the casino and playing the lottery for other placements in the ninth house. Don't get it twisted. But with Jupiter there, though, you know, because remember, Jupiter expands. You know what I'm saying? Jupiter is about growth. Jupiter is about wealth. Jupiter is about abundance, right? So you're someone who could get very lucky at the casino, hitting jackpots, scoring big at the tables. Like you're definitely a gambler. You know what I'm saying? You're a gambler, most definitely. And, you know, Sagittarius energy, ninth house energy, loves competition, loves to play games anyway. Remember, this is a fire energy. You can't forget that, you know. So yeah, you may be very lucky with playing the lottery. Like you may win the lottery like a couple times a year. Like maybe not the jackpots, but you win like maybe like 10 grand or something. Like it's like low-key almost a source of income for you. And this is how you're able to travel, you know, to all of these different places. You mean with a scratch off. You know what I'm saying? Like Jupiter be popping in the ninth house, especially if you got like, obviously Jupiter in Sag, or even if you got Jupiter in Taurus, bring the money, honey, okay? And even Pisces as well, because Pisces brings like that energy, brings like some type of protection, insulation rather. So that insulation could be in the form of money. You know, that's very much like you being homeless on the street and somebody giving you like a big wad of cash or whatever. But to make a long story short, if you got Jupiter in the ninth house, play the lottery, okay? Now, remember, as I say in all of my videos, because some of y'all don't listen to me, it is going to depend on what sign is on the ninth house cusp and what aspects these planets are making. Don't get mad at me because you got Jupiter in Capricorn and it's like squaring Venus somewhere in your chart and you want to write, Venusian Bull told me to go play the lottery and go play the slots and I didn't win. Jupiter in Capricorn squaring your Venus. As an example, both planets about money and they fucked up. No, you're probably not going to win. You're probably not going to win. But maybe if you got Jupiter in Sag in the ninth house and it's trine your sun or it's trine Mars or it's trine Venus, you better go for that shit. Also, if you got a nice little transit that's happening, like you already have Jupiter in the ninth and it's transiting something and it's making a nice little trine or even like a nice conjunction, like say you even got like a Jupiter return, go for that lottery. Do it. All right. But don't say I didn't warn you. Okay. This is not a guarantee. This is just about probability, you know, that something will happen. Okay. But just remember, Jupiter is luck. Jupiter is opportunity. Okay. So if it's not that, then it could be something else. You know what I'm saying? That you have an abundance in. It may not always be money. It may be an abundance of love. It may be an abundance of knowledge. You know, it may be an abundance of friendships. It may just be an abundance of people who, you know, look to you for counsel because you're wise and you know a lot of things. So don't just be one dimensional in thinking that wealth and abundance is just all about money. You know, see, that's that materialistic stuff. That's that stuff that them nice ninth house people will actually tell you. Them Jupiter people will tell you it's not all about the money, but then they be getting money so easily. So then you don't really believe them and stuff like that. But that's besides the point. But anyway, Jupiter in the ninth can be very lucky when it comes to money and gambling and things of that nature. I mentioned traveling. Oh, this is something that I kind of just added in the description of my Mars and Mercury videos in the ninth house. And I want to state it in this video too, because it also applies. I keep talking about international travel and things like that. And that, while that does apply, it also does apply to like cross country, like driving and stuff like that, like driving up and down the coast. It's not always about, necessarily flying to another country, because long distance travel is what the ninth house represents. So this could mean you traveling, you driving from, New York to LA or New York to Miami or something like that. It just indicates some type of like long distance type of travel and things like that. And that's something that you like to do. Maybe that's, like family road trips and stuff like that, especially if you may have a fear of flying, which Jupiter in the ninth is not really prone to have fears of flying and things like that. But you could, especially if it's, has challenging aspects and stuff. You may be the one, to be driving, and things like that. These really, really long distances. And the main thing that I want to drive home with any placement in the ninth, but especially with Jupiter in the ninth, they love their freedom. It's all about freedom, freedom, I can't move, freedom, cut me loose, yeah. It's been a minute since I sang on this channel, but yes, it's all about freedom. It's all about liberation. They don't want to be tied down. Jupiter in the ninth, they kind of make their own rules and kind of live by, their own philosophies in a sense, and they can, make it make sense, especially if you're throwing like religion into it. I'm going to be 100% honest and say that even though Jupiter in the ninth can have a very spiritual-esque air, it's giving me like intuitively, it's giving me more religious. It's giving me more like organized religion. Like it's giving me more like, just straight up Christian, like Baptist, like, or Methodist evangelical, or just straight up like Jew, or straight up, like Muslim. It's not giving me like I'm this like spiritual bird that can fly all over the place. That's just intuitively. But it can be like, especially if you got maybe like Jupiter conjunct Neptune or something like that, your spiritual preferences can kind of be all over the place. But some of the more like overbearing Jupiter, prominent Jupiter energy people, especially with Jupiter in the ninth, can really like drive and force home that religion. And you could be like kind of forcing religion on people who really don't want that. Like, stop trying to convert the atheists. Like, stop trying to do that. They don't want to do that. Stop it. Also, don't even get in relationships with people if you're so like keen on, being Christian, and you're with a Jew. Like, stop, even though religions are kind of similar, but y'all know how y'all religious people. I'm not religious, so I don't know nothing about this shit. Okay. Be aware of the hot air that Jupiter in the ninth house brings, because they can talk a lot of, extravagant, grandiose, amazing type of things, but can often be full of shit. So, just remember that, take what they say as a grain of salt. Some of it might help you and some of it might not, but take what you can, that you can benefit from, and use that, because people with Jupiter in the ninth house, these prominent Jupiter placements, can be very beneficial to you in one way or another. Okay. So just, take advantage of what they're giving, because they're giving something that you can use whether you agree with them or not. You know what I'm saying? Remember, wealth of knowledge, that doesn't always mean you agree, but it does mean that you can gain something from it. We're talking about growth here. And just when you have this placement, Jupiter in the ninth house, people, just know it's not that they don't appreciate you. It's just that everybody is not for a Jupiter in the ninth house person. Like, it doesn't work. But for the most part, you guys are very bubbly and very generous and very giving, and you love all. So most people are going to like you. You know what I mean? Most people like people who are nice. Just chill on the overbearing shit, the just being too preachy and philosophical and stuff like that. And, we can make the world a better place. All right. So again, let me know if this resonated with you. If you have Jupiter in the ninth house, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Always get those views up, share, tell a friend, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.